Hey,
Hey,
it's Ben Hearn back with another market watch for Merion Station for the month of June. And before we get started into the homes and get into that collection, I did want to touch on what's been happening with the real estate market the past 2 weeks. It's a transitional period right now. The rates for buyers went above 6%, and talks of recession, this or that. So everything's kind of in flux. Nationally, there's been a lot more headlines about like the market normalizing, and it's completely changed. That has happened a little bit, like more so in Philly and in our area, but it's not like drastic by any means. It's just like the days on market counter is that's a little higher. We are seeing more price drops than normal, but like when people are thinking of like '08 style crash, it's nothing like that. There's still just not enough supply for the demand. And depending on who you talk to, you might hear that it is a good time to sell, but it's also a bad time to sell. But it's a good time to buy, but it's also a bad time to buy. And there's data to prove all of that. So it's a good time to sell because home prices haven't like gone down; they've just flattened. So you're still getting like really good home prices. And it's a bad time to sell because the mortgage rates have gone up. Buyers don't have as much buying power. There's not as many buyers right now as there were in the spring. And then for buyers, it is a bad time to buy because mortgage rates have went up and you don't have as much buying power and you can't afford it. But it's a good time to buy because in the fall, mortgage rates might go up again. So it's going to be even worse then. Also, there's not as much competition now during the summer. People go on vacation, things like that. So yeah, it's just whoever you talk to can tell you any of that. And trust me, there's evidence and data to support all of that. So I think it's pretty important to have an honest conversation with the realtor if you are thinking about getting in the game, either selling or buying. If you do need a resource, like obviously I'm available. My contact info is at the bottom of the email. Feel free to email, call, or text. So before we jump into the homes, I did want to share some market data. Just again, like there's data to share to show anything, but something that I thought might be worthwhile. So this is for all of Lower Merion, mind you, for the past year. And the one, it's a lot of numbers, but MSI, as you can read that little blurb, shows how many months it would take for the current inventory of homes on the market to sell, given the current pace of home sales. So the lower the number, the stronger seller market it is. The higher the number, the stronger buyer market it is. And a balanced market is at 6 months, right? So if like no more homes went on the market, how long would it take all those homes currently on there to sell? 6 months of the balanced market. As you can see, it has not been a balanced market in a while. But again, people are saying it's a transitional time. It's not a good time to sell anymore. Blah blah blah. Like you can see that it's been 2. It got as high as 3. A lot of times it's been in the 1s. I mean, December was brutal for buyers, so there was like nothing on the market, so it was 0.9. In March, it went up to 2.6. Then April went down. May went 2.3. Right now, June 22, it's at 1.4. So it's not like, yeah, like 1.4 is still like a good time for sellers. It's not like, if the MSI was at like 4 or 5, then yeah, I could understand people thinking that there was an issue, but it's not there yet. Anyway, so now we're at Merion Station. There's not too many active homes right now. There's 206 Idris, that's new construction, and then there's just a couple condos, honestly. In other parts of Lower Merion, there are actually more active homes than there normally would be. And again, because they're just sitting a little longer instead of like selling in 4 days, maybe it takes 8 days. But if a home is in pretty good condition, in a pretty good location, priced pretty well, it's still going to sell pretty quickly. Like, so Stoneway, that's under contract. And we can see like these, that was 5 days. 407 Bowman Ave, that was 5 days. Merion Road, that big one on the corner, that was 11 days. 1.6. I mean, that's not a great location. Obviously, like the property's huge and it's like curb appeal, great size. Getting into the closed ones. So City Ave, that closed for 280. That was a touch above. 637 South Bowman Ave. This one sold 14% above asking. So again, these ones that are closing now went under contract in the spring when the market was still like really, really in the seller's favor. So you're still going to see a bunch that are above asking and like well above asking. So this was listed for 115. It ended up closing for 131. This home had like a lot of character, and that is usually a euphemism that realtors use. That means that like a home needs work, but this did not. It was in good condition, and it was really handsome is the word that comes to mind. I don't know why, but it was a cool looking home. 257 Winding Way, that actually also closed for 131, and that was up 19%. So they listed that at 1.1. And I mean, that's prime location. That was on the market 5 days. 227 Bowman Ave, that closed for 2.8. That was on the market for off and on for a while. So it was originally 315. It ended up getting 2.8. I mean, if you want to talk about curb appeal, that one's just absolutely gorgeous. And like the lot size on that is huge. So yeah, that's cool that they got it sold. That was another Compass one. 108 Winchester ended up getting 538, and that was 22% above asking. I think, yeah, 440 they listed it at. And Maplewood, this one again went over. That was 8%. It's funny, I almost said like only 8.5%, which I mean, in a normal market, that would be a lot. But yeah, it was listed almost at 975. So I think we're gonna have to like start recalibrating that. That was on the market 3 days. 132 Rockland. That one was 13% over, and they ended up getting it for 480. And then the last one was 725 Beacom. This one, I mean, obviously the street's amazing. It was listed at 1225, so it sold 22.5% above asking. And the interior is pretty good. Yeah, the first floor was nice. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. So that's it. It is a very, very interesting time right now to either buy or sell. And if you like want to get in the, if you want to move right now, you honestly should be aware of all the data and everything going on. Don't just rely on national headlines, because that doesn't really matter for our area too much since we're so unique. And again, I'd love to be resourced. So that's it. Have a good one. Enjoy 4th of July weekend, and I'll see you next time.